For more than 5 decades, our next guest has sold over 100 million albums, and she's brought us classics like Don't Make Me Over, Walk On By, A House Is Not a Home, and Say a Little Prayer.
That's right, and now she's back with a new album, Feels So Good, and we are so lucky to have her here with us. Music icon and legend, Dionne Warwick, welcome to Arise 360.
Thank you for inviting me.
Not worthy, not worthy.
Yes, yes.
We bow down.
Miss Warwick, thank you so much for being here. Now, you have more than 65 albums under your belt. 65?
Yeah, just stop and think. I'm celebrating my 53rd year this year. Next year will be 54 years.
First of all, you look incredible. Second of all, my goodness, how have you managed to remain so beloved for decades?
I hope it's because I'm giving people what they want.
You sure are.
I certainly hope that's the reason.
Now, everybody is excited about this new album because you collaborate with a ton of people for duets. Everyone from Neil, Jamie Foxx, and CeeLo Green to Gladys Knight, Billy Ray Cyrus, and Ziggy Marley. How do you go about selecting who you're going to collaborate with?
Well, actually, I didn't. My son, Damon, who produced the CD, he's the one who put everybody together, and they decided what songs they wanted to sing.
And what was it like working with that new generation of artists?
It was wonderful. First of all, it was surprising. First of all, they even knew what a Dionne Warwick was, and much less the music that I sang long before they were even thought of, or much less born. And to come to find out that they've been listening to me for a few years. It's nice to know that.
Dionne Warwick and CeeLo together.
It was quite interesting.
Exactly. Please do tell. I know there's a story or two there.
Yeah, not really. He wrote this wonderful song, and I mean, it came at the right time in my life, and I couldn't think of a better title for the CD because that's exactly what it's going to make you feel. So good.
And there are a lot of classics that you just redid with these artists as well, correct?
Yeah, these are songs that they chose.
Wow.
You know, I mean, I was completely taken aback when I went down to Florida to record with Neil, and he decided A House Is Not a Home. I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah, that's what I want to do," and he did. I was overwhelmingly surprised. I really was. He took the time to do the backgrounds, the vocals on it are brilliant, and his interpretation was right on money.
Now, we know they grew up listening to you, but do you listen to any of these younger contemporary artists? Do you have an iPod?
No. I barely have a phone. Yeah, I'm too social. You know, I like looking in your face and talking to you. You know, and I don't want to get carpal tunnel doing this stuff called texting. You know, and it just seems so impersonal, all of these machines doing everything for you without you using your own brain, the way I was brought up to do. So I know I don't have an iPod or iPad or a whatever you call them, any other little doohickey that they're coming up with.
But is there a young artist today who you're like, ooh, he's got it or she's got it?
I've said that on several occasions, you know, about, you know, when Mariah Carey first entered the scene. I think she was a brilliant talent. Usher, of course, I think is sensational. You know, I personally feel that today's music is for today's kids.
Got you.
You know, it's for their peers, as mine was for my peers. And that's who I listen to. I listen to Gladys, and I listen to Johnny Mathis, and I listen to Patty, and, you know, those are my babies, okay? And I listen to an awful lot of Brazilian music since I lived there as well.
Well, take us back to when you were a little baby, recording your first album, 1963. What was that like back then? And do you remember the first time you heard one of your songs on the radio?
I sure do.
What was it like?
It was very interesting. You know, I kept saying, that sounds like me.
You weren't sure?
I didn't think about it. That is you, silly. You know, but it was wonderful. I pulled over to the side, turned it up as loud as I could, rolled the windows down on my car, and said, "Listen, this is me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
very
is me.
exciting.
Listen. Yeah.
Great feeling.
Of all the hits you've recorded over the years, the countless hits, dozens upon dozens upon dozens, what have been your favorites?
You know, and it sounds like a stock answer, but it's an absolutely true answer. Every single one of them.
Oh,
You know,
Miss Warwick.
I'm serious. Every song that I've ever sung was written specifically for me. I treat them as if they were my children. And you can't have a favorite child.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
You just can't say
Let
that
me put
loud.
it this way, I can.
Okay.
You can. Well, one of our favorites is That's What Friends Are For. Take us back to 1985 when you recorded that. What was it like to be a part of one of the most significant songs in the world?
You know, I heard that song. I was working with Backrack and his then wife, Carol Beer-Sager. And I just left their home, and that evening, I was, you know, when you get in a twilight kind of sleep, and I had TV on, and saw the end of a film, and all of a sudden this song came on. And I said, oh my goodness, who wrote that? And as the crawl went up, I said, oh, it's Carol and Bert. I just left them. So the next day when I went up to listen to more songs that they were proposing for me to record, I said, I was watching a film and saw and heard this song that Rod Stewart recorded for a film called Night Shift. And you wrote it. Why didn't you play it? And Carol, who is a hoot anyway, said, well, now 4 of us know that song. I said, what are you talking about 4? He said, Rod, Bert, myself, and now you.
Oh, so it wasn't a hit.
I said, wait a minute, no, it wasn't. Nobody had even heard it.
Wow.
I said, I'd love to record this. And I want to do it the way that it's represented by bringing some friends in. And as it turned out, I ran into Elton, this is the funniest thing, in a grocery store in LA. And he was preparing a dinner party for his then manager. And I said, what you doing tomorrow night? He said, well, I got this party. I said, can you slip away for about 2 hours? He said, for what? I said, I want you to record with me. He said, of course, darling. And I called Gladys. I said, gee, this studio you're going to be in tomorrow at this time. You know, that's all I had to ever say to her. And Stevie happened to be coming back from New Jersey visiting his children. And I got him on the phone before he got on the plane. I said, when you get off the plane, just come to Conway Studios, because that's where we're all going to be. And that's how it all happened.
And the rest is history. I love that you were like, Elton, G, Stevie, meet me here.
Yeah.
It seemed so easy. I just called him and told him, come on by.
Well, you stop thinking they're friends.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to be able to do that with friends.
That's very true.
Did
That's what
you
they're for.
feel the magic that night in the studio?
Oh, it was most incredible. You know, we all knew why we were there, but it was not for the AIDS issue. It was because they were my friends, and they were part of a recording that dealt with friendship. And as it turned out, Elizabeth Taylor happened to be in the studio that night.
Really?
Yeah, she and Bert and Carol were very dear friends, and we all got to be good friends after that. And she said she has just started this foundation called AMFAR. And how would we feel about giving it to AMFAR and it becoming the theme for the AIDS issue? And I think only because we all had lost someone or knew someone that had regarding the AIDS problem, we would undoubtedly say, yeah, okay. So from that, we gave up, first of all, the royalty, which is...
Looking back on that, do you regret it now?
No, never.
Yeah.
Couldn't regret it. You know,
That was a lot
it's
of
done
money.
so much good, you know, over the years. But the studio gave the time, the engineer gave his time, all the tapes were given, the videographer gave his time. Everybody gave up everything. And every dime goes to AMFAR.
Wow.
You know, a whole new generation discovered you on The Apprentice. What made you decide to do that show? What was that experience like for you?
Silly, just silly, nothing else to do that day.
Really? I have to tell you, my sister and I, for a month, called everybody a hussy, because that was just so... When you said, I got your number, hussy, we just howled laughing,
I
and
know
for the
you
next
did.
month, everybody was a hussy. So
Everybody.
thank you for that.
Thank you for that alone.
Yeah, but what was that experience like for you?
It was quite interesting, you know, and it got to the point, though, I must say, you find out who and what people really are. And I finally got to the point where I said, you know what, Dionne, you have 50 years under your belt, you know, let these people unhinge that. Are you crazy? That's when I told Mr. Donald, I said, well, I'm going to fire myself. He said, you can't do that. I said, I just did. I just did. I fired me.
You're like,
he didn't fire me.
you're the boss.
I fired me.
You're fired.
Yeah, it had gotten to the point where they were getting ready to be something other than ladies. And I'm not accustomed to that.
Right, because you are a lady.
I certainly am.
And you know, in 2012, you know, we have to ask you about Whitney Houston. You lost your cousin. What is it that you miss most about her?
That silly laugh. And those 4 o'clock in the morning calls. You know, just to say, hey, that's all I want to say, bye.
At 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, that was her thing. I miss her just generally. You know, she was the little girl I never had. And I treated her as such, and she treated me the same way. I don't know, just missing, and of course, her voice. I think the world misses her voice.
Yeah.
But she's in a much, much better place. We're the ones still dealing with this madness down here. You know, she's with her dad, she's with her cousins and her aunts and uncles and people that she loved and who loved her. So I'm okay with it. I'm all right.
What advice do you have for all the young girls who hope to be Dionne Warwick, who hope to have
That's the first thing. I hope they don't want to be Dionne Warwick.
Okay.
They want to be who they are.
Got you.
I don't give advice.
You don't?
Nobody takes
Not
it
even to
anyway.
your granddaughter? She's
No,
singing with you,
right,
Let
no.
There Be Love. She's, you know, singing that song
and
with you.
she will always be someone that I will certainly encourage and embrace and let her know what's good for her and what's not good for her. But advice is something that, first of all, you have to have degrees in order to give. You know, common sense is something that Cheyenne will always have, as will my other 6 grandchildren. I've got 7 wonderful grandbabies, and they all know who they are. You know, they are individuals, and that's what I want them to be, who they are.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
It's been my pleasure, and thank you for inviting me.
It feels so good to have you here and to have your new album. Thank you so much. It's available now. Everyone can go pick it up. It feels so good. Dionne Warwick, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And you're watching Arise Entertainment 360. Feels so good. Yes,
Good,
feels so
good,
good.
good.